The Quiet Footsteps, Chapter 7. Entering the lower district library, the girl eagerly strolled towards the librarian guarding the entry, while keeping an eye on the small and quaint room the front door led to. Her interests were to know the ins and outs of the Magistrate's Fortress Keep, the center of all magistrate order processing and military control in the entire district. The Keep's establishment, in many ways, solidified the settlements and everything she knew for her entire life. The contracting information was public, and apparently laid out behind the librarian's counter. She needed to ask him. She had been to the library before, curious to know how to live on the streets, or live in general, learning to read from eavesdropping the many phonic teachers and tutors speaking to kids much younger than her. She often hid behind a piece of polycarbonate glass, which, while distorting the audio, made the teachings at least audible, allowing her to eventually speak and read the language. In a struggle to pronounce them due to the distorted speech, she acquired a pseudo-French accent, a sign at her attempt at English, as the glass tended to elongate vowels and deepen their enunciation. The library was open to all public, and fortunately, there never seemed to be any signs of crime or injustice, even without the girl's strict presence. It always puzzled the girl as to why. She never really understood it, especially at the bottom end of the hill, but she had an inkling, just an inkling, that the librarian had something to do with it. She rang the bell on his countertop, with him nowhere to be seen. Signs behind his desk openly promoted magistrate sign-ups to join the guard. She needed to be quick with her analysis on the Fortress Keep to locate an entry position that best suited the situation that was most likely to unfold. Fumbling countless books in his hands, the middle-aged elven man gathered himself by fluffing his robe as he noticed the bell ring in the distance. Possibly an eager scholar such as himself, asking for a semi-restricted scroll or article, perhaps owned by the Magistrate Loyal Treasury or the Bureau of the Honor Tribunal for history or political assignment. While his pointed ears offered a focused sense of hearing, his vision was augmented. With a spectacular pair of spectacles he prescribed himself as a fun little experiment. Peeking eagerly behind the bookshelf behind the front counter, through his crystal-clean lenses, he spotted the girl from last week. Only she looked astonishingly different. Her hair sported the color pink, and she wore a fabulous long coat with gleaming fabric wrapping around the girl's waist. Certainly conspicuous, and an apparition noticeable and unorthodox enough to spot in a cluster of folks. That girl always irked him upon every rare entry or occurrence. Her hand was empty ever since she was only a few feet tall. She was growing impatient when she noticed the head of the curious scholar. She begrudgingly cleared her throat as the clumsy giant scooted towards the front desk. My, what a lovely coat! Did you accept the magistrate's offerings? They certainly treated you nicely, the elf assumed. I'm sure I'll be seeing you all over the place, now that you are becoming a magistrate knight, and most definitely a unique one at that. She tried to ignore the patriotism of the librarian as she pointed at the Fortress Keep atlas visible behind him. Oh, he bounced to attention. Going there, I presume? Glancing behind him, he bent over to pick the atlas up, blowing dust off and compiling articles of schematics to put inside the atlas. Certainly a lovely place to work, young lady. Congratulations. It truly is great to see how lucky you've become. The white-bearded elf handed the book out as the girl snagged it with a warm smile of approval and a head tilt. As the girl started off toward the nearest desk, the scale of the library and what the librarian truly guarded was finally revealed. Upon entering, the building appeared fairly quaint and tiny, but once 3 strides are taken inward, the massive underground knowledge hub glistened with vibrant natural architecture. Coated with granite and stone, the library took the shape of a massive carnivorous basement, but there was no sign of dirt anywhere. As the bookshelves lay across in aisles at the bottom of the cavern, so did the several aspiring scholars, rummaging about the chasm, talking quietly and reading countless novels and texts. While the girl walked along the catwalk above the chasm, she revered the reflective sparkles of clean granite and rock that struck her eyes. Walking down the stairs from the catwalk towards a nearby desk, she studied the cover of the atlas. She calmly sat while analyzing the deceptively simple exterior. A mountain-sized rook from chess, the Magistrate's Fortress Keep, from what she was learning, secured the Magistrate's treasures, and house their endless weaponry and disciplined military by utilizing linear and tactically deceptive outreach. The keep's guards, based on what she's seen around the district, extend in a linear fashion, protruding 12 lines off the center like an ant farm. Architecturally, based on the atlas and her visual perception, it was a massive rectangular prism, coupled with spires where scouts can see for miles from their vicinity. These 12 impenetrable lines of guards seemed hopeless to sneak by, but since it has been many years since a terrorist group attempted to joust it, the guards are left unchallenged, their speed likely not matching hers. The resistance, if they were to attack tomorrow, would certainly target one line, because if they were to enter, attention to one line would rise, hopefully leading to an opening for her to slip inside and nab the crystal. She pictured the glowing, shiny aura of pink hues emanating from the crystal, and in tandem the code emitted a familiar glow. Calm and satisfied, the girl picked up the book and strolled to the front desk. She set the book on the front desk, and with a small grin, she exited the library.